I have to try to tell you some things here, and we're going somewhere, you know. Yes, I just got to figure out where to jump. Now, people have been talking about 2022. This has been the buzz, you know. Now, let me say this to you. Lord, show me how to lay this out. In the world of darkness, they're looking at these numbers. They constantly look at numbers. Let me tell you why. Because since Jesus rose from the dead, the dark world can't open, they open portals in time, not to underworlds and upper worlds. The restrainer is standing there. So their portals they open are in time. And that's why they look at numerology so much. That's why they look at things like that and numbers and things, because they can only walk through times, not into heaven or even into hell. Not as long as the restrainer is on the earth. So there are demons trapped in this earth, and they are here, and they're roaming, and Satan is in this earth. The day will come when he will not be. But right now he's here, and they operate in this. And people started talking about, you know, that on 2/22/2022, that a portal was going to open. And yes. Now let's just read. Well, let me look at the numbers first. Now, put up Daniel 7:25, and I want to look at that scripture with everybody before I really just jump off onto this, because I want to jump into something here. Daniel 7:25, and I didn't give them a heads up on the scripture, so it'll take just a moment. But when you look at this, and it says, "And he shall speak great words against the Most High, and shall wear out the saints." Wear out the saints. He's dealing with time. You see what I'm talking about? Okay, he said he'll wear out the saints of the Most High, and think to change times and laws, and they shall be given into his hand until a time and times and the dividing of time. He deals in time. So when calendar dates and numbers start to line up, there is a prophetic calendar. And if I had time to tell you all about that, we could discuss that. But in that book, The Pool and the Portal, that's out, that I wrote that book, then you can look at that prophetic calendar. But in that time, the calendar will move, and in that space is where we live, in time. So he seeks to seal up sums, to change times and laws. And when they start opening, they start talking about portals. They're talking about portals in time, not coming from heaven or even coming from the underworld. Jesus sealed that with a great lid. Remember, he told the rich man, in the story of the rich man, he said, can he leave? No, he can't leave there and come here. Now, the day will come when the great lid will be opened in Revelation 9, and those spirits out of the bottomless pit are let out on the earth, but that's not this time. Yes, I will. You know, before I keep going here, years ago, you know, if you read Genesis chapter 1, you've got, in the beginning God created the heavens and the earth, and the earth became without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep, and the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters. God said, light be, or let there be light. There was light. In that time, see, God didn't create the world without form and void. He created a paradise, Isaiah 45 declares, and 40 through 45. He made it a paradise, and it became without form and void. It was attacked by a rogue spirit. Now watch this. There was a world before Adam was created. And that's the link they keep trying to tie to us today. And evolution gains its strength from that man came from Neanderthals and all of this kind of stuff. But the wild thing is there's always a missing link because it's missing. There was a world before Adam, and the scripture says it completely perished. Completely. And I was studying this years ago, and I was just kind of meditating on the Word and studying the world before Adam and what happened and all of this kind of thing. And then all at once, I saw a vision. The Lord took me in the Spirit to a vision at a beach. I've never been to this beach, but it was a vast beach. It had mountains in the distance, and the water was blue, and it was coming in waves, and it was really peaceful. It was gorgeous. And I saw the little creatures that were on the earth. They wasn't men. They were in the animal class. But they were just peaceful. And then all at once, what Lucifer did, I saw this horror and fear and terror come into their eyes. And their little eyes, and they began to run and scramble as he destroyed and imploded the earth and killed them all. He was a murderer from the beginning. And so and when I saw that, the Lord brought that vision back to me. I can see it now just as plain. I could even tell you what they look like. I won't get into that. But I'll never forget this. And I remember I was laying on the floor praying one day, and it was one night actually, and it was dark, and we had this big mirror in our living room. And there was just some light coming from the hall, and I was laying on my face praying. I like to do that. And I got up and I was thinking on these things. I said, Lord, were there men before? This is why he showed me this vision. This was in those days. I said, were there men here before Adam was created? Was there men here in the days when angels were in charge of the earth? Because the scripture said they were in charge at one time. And I stood up, got up off the floor, and I saw my outline in a mirror. And the Lord said, if there was a man on the earth, he would have been in charge, not that angel. Angels are not created in the image of God. And then I saw these little creatures. He showed me this later about these little and the terror that came into their eyes. Because he had brought the world to a crisis. Lucifer had brought it to a crisis to destroy the earth. And when he brought it into this crisis mode, and I watched the fear come in those little creatures' eyes as they started to scramble and scatter, trying to get away from what was coming at them. And I was seeing that again this morning. And when I saw that vision, it came up in my spirit. He's trying to bring everything to another place like that. This is a time that the enemy is trying to bring an implosion again in the earth. But this time we're not, this generation, this age, the day of man, the image of God, we're not little creatures with scared eyes. And by God, I won't run either. And you don't run either. You stand up and take spiritual authority. That punk angel trying to bring about an end to something that he has no right to even try. And I heard this ain't that time. We're not running like those creatures.